All right, guys, here we are. Another week, another episode, another encoder overload, and everything slowed down, and we had to stop recording and re-record and pretend like we're doing this for the first time. like, so far it seems to be holding. So far. So we'll go with that. We got nothing planned tonight, guys. Nothing planned. But we wanted to put an episode out there. We're going to talk to you like we normally do. We just don't have any bullet points. Usually we'll have like, hey, no, we should talk about these things. Nothing's ever scripted, but let's talk about this, throw it out there. Aaron came up with a good idea tonight. We're just going to share more about us so you guys can get to learn more about us. And we'll do a poll afterwards. You can say who's the coolest of the three of us. And we already know it's going to be Aaron, unfortunately. So don't even vote. But we are going to play a video here. We are going to play a video. Like we did last time, but I'm gonna let it play through. I'm gonna play it all through, and maybe this could be a normal thing. Maybe there's a song that you've heard that you want us to listen to and play on the podcast, and you could throw it in the comments, and we'll read it. And if we see something, we can play it next. You guys, before I start this, do you guys have anything on your minds?
No. A blank canvas right now.
Blank it up. Oh, there goes my camera again. It's following me. There we go. All right, let's get into it. This new Dak's new song.
Out of the depths I cry to you. Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to my cry for mercy. God, can you hear me? I'm silently screaming, I can't let it show on my face. My addictions are beating me down. I bottle the mold and I chase. I'm at war with the man that I am. The man who I was doesn't relate to the man that I'm trying to become, who can carry all this weight. I struggle expressing emotion. I'm lonely with people around. I'm losing the fight with depression. My head is somewhere in the clouds. I'm broken and searching for peace, but it's nowhere to be found. I'm not ashamed to say I need you right now. God, can you hear me? I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, barely breathing, covered and soaked in my blood. I'm broken, I'm weak, can't stand on my feet. I'll give you my all, just answer me please. God, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Today's the day I finally bow and give you my all. I fought against temptation, but it's getting too strong. I'm a slave to my flesh and my bones have been broken by casted stones. So I'm crying out and praying that your grace can catch my fall. I can't see down this road, so I'm walking by faith. The shackles they've placed on my feet will not break. I'm weak and I need strength. The blood you shed and gave to wash all these stains on my spirit away. God, can you hear me? I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, barely breathing, covered and soaked in my blood. I'm broken, I'm weak, can't stand on my feet. I'll give you my all, just answer me please. God, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And if you can, could you show me a sign? Give me something to grab, a glimmer of hope. I'm right on the edge of the mountain of grief, and my sin is a slippery slope. I'm fighting with demons, they're pulling me under. I'm barely staying afloat. I swam to religion, needed connection, but the location's remote. An island of truth sustained by beautiful lies. They dress it in tolerance, alter the words to fit in with modern day times. They painted your picture, left out details. I scribbled and blurred all the lines. If I'm made in your image, then why do I hate it when I look myself in the eyes? God, do you hear me? My pain is speaking. Show me you love me. I want to see it, touch it, hear and feel it. I'm dying to live. What is my purpose? How do I go about seeking it? It's hell on earth. It's so, I think I'm knee deep in it. I walk through the valley of shadow of death. The devil haunts and counts my steps. I believe that you exist. I just hate the hand I'm dealt. I'm tired. I'm sick. God, I'm begging, I need help. Heal my body, soul, and mind. In Jesus' name I pray, amen! God, can you hear me? I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Barely breathing. Covered and soaked in my blood. I'm broken, I'm weak. Can't stand on my feet. I'll give you my all. Just answer me, please. God, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have listened to that yet or not.
Nah, but it sounds like a pretty cool song. It looks like it might segue right into mental health.
Yeah.
Watching that video.
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts? And I know to listeners, it was looking choppy on our end. I'm not sure. It might be my internet, honestly. It might be a little. There's some storms going on here, so that could have been messing it up a little bit. But I think we're moving okay right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think it
whatever
was
that was
just
about.
I think it was just during the video.
Yeah.
Things got a little spotty.
Yeah, I noticed it even just stopped playing, like it was spinning on my end, like when it's looking for internet. So
Yeah.
I don't know what are you gonna do. But Aaron, you said it might segue into mental health. What were you thinking?
I'm just thinking that a lot of people struggle. I mean, it kind of ties into faith too, but just a lot of people struggle with whatever it is, stress, weight, demons, and looking at that gentleman being on, that edge right there, whatever that overpass was, you know, um, I think it's just something that should probably be highlighted and talked about when it comes to how to deal. That's like that should never be a resort, right? To want to jump off and end yourself, I think people need to know they're here for a reason, and sometimes they don't really understand what purpose that is. And looking at how hard life is and how cruel people can be, um, to still find some light in that and lighten themselves. That's kind of what I'm taking away from that video. We could probably expand on it more, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing right there, and it kind of hits the heart right there to see something like that, and you just know that in reality, people are going through something, and they might be on the edge.
Yeah. And you hear it all the time. You don't know what someone's going through, right? So it's like do your best to almost meet every situation with grace. And I remember actually it was this weekend. My family, my wife and my daughter, we went out. Right, we're just driving around town. Went to the shoe store, got my daughter a pair of like these rainbow colored Crocs, which are pretty cool. I wanted to get her the light up shoes, but she's not big enough to wear the light up shoes yet. But I share this because as we were driving around the town, right, you have a toddler, or people have toddlers, they have dogs in the car, they slow down more before usually they take a turn, right? And I'm having people just riding, part of my language, but your ass, right? You always say the right man, why is the guy riding my ass? But they're just riding me. They're really close. And one, my inner road rage wants to come out, right? Like part of me that I've worked on for many years, and it's like, be calm. Hey, they don't know what they don't know. Many people might think they're like, man, I wish this guy would just move, or why is he going so slow? They don't know there's a kid in a child seat, right? Used to take some sharp turns with a baby or a toddler. They get sick to their stomach easily. Next thing you know, you got vomit all over the place. My daughter, she's thrown up many times in the car, right? And the point I'm sharing about this is as I was doing the turn, right, and I'm turning, and you look in your rearview mirror, I could see, how people do that look where they're like they want to stare you down kind of thing after you made the turn. And I had several people over the weekend where they were like giving me that look, and part of me got annoyed by it, but the other part of me was, what are they going through in their life to where somebody needing to slow down to take a turn slower is putting them in that bad of a mood, right? And I know you mentioned the video, like we all got things that we might be going through. I'm not saying they're at the point of like jumping off a cliff, but you just see people's reactions at times. And I actually remember myself, I could think of myself as, being a 20-something-year-old guy and seeing myself in those shoes, being like, man, this person's so slow. I can't believe I can't believe why they're turning so slow. And I would get annoyed with it. And now here I am, not just older, but I'm seeing the reasons like why. One, if someone's going to turn slow, they should be able to turn as slow as they want, as long as they're not really messing up traffic or anything. But for me, it's like, it's a maturing moment, right? It's a maturing moment. It's seeing how much I've grown over the years personally, but also how easily the smallest things can really upset people or frustrate you or potentially throw your day off. So I only shared that because it wasn't so much of why you're driving slow, but it was noticing the amount of people looking upset in your rearview mirror when you're taking a turn, just kind of like staring you down, like you just ruined their day, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, several instances of that. You know, being in traffic in Cali, sometimes you really have to learn to have some patience. You still got those hurry uppers, and I too, when I was younger, definitely. It's like, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, and you rolling past them, you see their elderly person, you're like, you probably shouldn't even be driving no more, like.
Yeah.
And it's like insensitive because at their age, they might not have anyone who could take them around, and they're trying to get around, and they're a little more cautious. They put more space between them. They drive slower, but it's that impatient, hurry up and wait kind of attitude that we have. We forget that one day we'll be there,
Yeah.
or two, we don't know what somebody's going through or have precious cargo. I
Yeah.
wouldn't bend no corners. With matter of fact, I'm probably more of a safer driver knowing I have passengers,
Mhm.
kids, or even full adults, right? Because I
Mhm.
realize that they're trusting the driver to be keen, aware, not doing sudden movements, that make them feel unsafe traveling with you. So again, that's something that's probably, I can't say necessarily with age, bro. I think it's with maturity, because I got peers my age that probably like forget that, like
That's fair.
speed demon.
That's fair. One of the guys staring me down looked like he was in his 40s. I'm like, like I was in his way of like his path to the liquor store or something. I don't know. I'm like, it's like you saw it enough to where I was like, you almost want it to, even though you're in cars and you're moving far, right? Um, one of our mentor that we have here, Marcus, right? He talks right about sometimes when people are just angry, it's because that's all they have to give,
Mm.
and he was telling me moments where he had somebody in traffic kind of like cuss him out or whatever, and he met him with not just like just kindness, right? He met him just with kindness. They completely disarmed the person. And as I'm maturing more and I get in these moments, something like that, I almost kind of wish that I would have been in a situation to maybe have a conversation with them. They might need some kindness in their life, right? Because maybe they're not getting it from anywhere else. So it's more so like I heard something else I want to mention. A lot of us match energy culture, right? They say that, oh my lord, but the guys, I did the thing where I made my camera come back to life. Hold on. Give me a second. It's gonna start tracking me all over the place. Oh no. And here I am with ADHD. Do you guys remember what I was saying? Yeah.
Nope.
We can rewind a little bit. I'm a little
Yeah.
distracted because I
Yeah.
got family over, and
Yeah.
I kind of let people know that I'm recording and I can hear them. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping my mic is not picking them up. So I'm like trying to message. So I did hear what you said about Marcus and
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, meeting them with kindness, right? And you wish
Mhm.
you could have that kind of conversation where you could, or you wish you could have opportunity to have a conversation with someone. And that's like the last thing I heard.
Yeah, that's
I'm
about the
sorry for
last thing I
splitting.
remember, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna go back and watch the audio or listen to the audio after and be like, oh, that's what I was talking about. It's gonna be too late. It's gonna be too late. We might get
Yeah.
people down in the comments being like, dude, why don't you talk? Why don't you talk about this? And if it's meant to come back to my mind, then it's meant to come back. But that's, it's later over here for Mark and I. It's like 9:55 p.m. at night. Aaron, I think it's almost 8 o'clock for you over
Yeah.
in California, right? So I chose not to drink coffees, and I usually drink coffee before we do an episode to boost me up. But I've been making some real strong coffee lately, and I've been trying to go to sleep, and I'm just like sitting in my bed with my eyes bugging out, right? And then by the time I fall asleep, my daughter's like waking up, like, you should feed me, right? So I'm like, all right. The next thing you know, one of the dogs is getting up, like, hey, take me out. And it's just like, I need to get some sleep tonight. So I was like, I'm not gonna drink coffee. So hopefully, I can do, whatever I'm gonna do. But yeah, man, I'm glad to be here, do another episode with you guys. I know I was talking about Marcus and him being a mentor, and like you said, meeting people with that kindness because they might just not have anything else. And I think if I would add anything to that, I would just say that sometimes. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. Match energy culture.
Mhm.
And for people listening, when you like, because I've been there before, I'm going to match your energy. I'm going to match your energy. And I know I have a friend of mine, and if he watches this, he'll know who he is. He calls himself the pettiest man in the world, which I think he's not. I think that's 50 Cent, personally.
Yeah, it is 50
it's
Cent for
definitely
sure.
50 Cent. But man, I heard somebody talking. It says, "Be careful with matching energy because you don't know whose energy you're matching."
I like that.
You know, imagine like I think of like the spiritual side of things, right? You could have something, maybe someone in something that might be could be maybe demonic or whatever it might be, and you're matching that. You don't want to match that energy, right? So I think about that. Be careful what you're matching. Instead, maybe give that grace or give them what they don't have, which might just be some love and some kindness, because that might be what they need to kind of start pulling that out of them. They might just never received it before. They don't know how to give it if they've never received it. So that's all I want to say. I'm glad that came back to me.
Yeah, I did too, because I remember you saying that too, but I was like splitting my attention between two
Yeah.
spots, and I was like, ah.
You know, kind of piggybacking off of what Brian was saying, with matching energy and, even what Marcus was telling you with, showing people kindness. I mean, for all three of us, as Christians, we're supposed to emulate Christ. We're supposed to be as Christ-like as we can. And, God is the most merciful person that you will ever, he's the most merciful being or person, however you want to portray him, that you will ever meet. And giving that grace to someone else, it's what we're supposed to do.
100%. Sorry for delay. I just been muting my mic because I don't want to capture any background noise. But I agree. Exactly that, bro. We should maybe we can talk about the golden rule: do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Right? The grace we receive, forgiveness of our sins and some of the things that we continue to repeat over and over and over again, and each one has their own. None of us is perfect, and we have our own walk and things we need to sort out when it comes to that. But forwarding that to the next person One of the ways I really like seeing that, and it may not be on the lines of forgiveness, but like the pay it forward. Oh, I love pay it forward. I was at a coffee shop around town, and we're all in line. And when I get to the cashier window to pay for my coffee, the lady in front of me said that the person in front of me paid for me, but she actually said there was a string of cars who all paid for the person behind them, and I was the last one, and I couldn't pay for anyone because no one was behind me, so I ended up tipping her. But that pay it forward is like one of the bright side of how you can, you know, put good out to the next person or grace.
You know, I like
So
that pivot. I like that pivot of tipping the worker.
Yeah,
I do like that. So that probably made that person's day.
yeah,
Seeing all those people pay for other people, and then it getting down to the last person, and you just giving it to her. Like that's cool. I like that.
yeah. I was nowhere else. I was like, and she was like, "You're the last car." I'm like, "Well, here you go.
mhm.
It's for you,"
I
and
don't
it
know
felt
why
good.
that made me think of this video. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, and I'm not gonna try and look it up because when I just did a YouTube video before, it like was bogging the video down, so I don't want to mess with it. Something I'll figure out a different time. But there's like this video of like the culture you're talking about, but it's a comedy skit. It's a comedy skit, and there's a guy who's in the drive-through line, and there's one person behind him, and he does the pay it forward thing. Oh, I'm gonna pay for the person behind me, right? And they're like, oh, that's so nice. And then the next car comes behind, and he like speeds around to go back into the drive-through line.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and he's like ordering everything. He's like 20 double cheeseburgers, 5 large fries. Like he's just going up and up and up and up and up. And the person I think notices, what's happening. That just cracks me up. It has nothing to do with
That's
what we're talking about.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's a very unhinged video.
I like unhinged.
Yeah, it's very unhinged. I was gonna to add back to what we're talking about with the car thing, right? And I know we've seen this before too. Like some of the families, I think for a while there was like decals where it's like your family was on like the rear view window or whatever.
Mhm.
And then there's also like the baby on board type stuff. And I think the signs like the baby on board can be very important for safety, right? For people being rescued and whatnot. Emergency scenes. But unfortunately, we're in a time in society where it's also something that terrible people are using to see who
Yep,
has family or kids or
yep.
a baby, and it's a way for them to target when they're in um, public places, right? So again, you know, going back to that person that might be driving slow or cautious or whatever, they could have a full family of whatever it is. By the way, you should just let them be. Someone driving slow or whatever shouldn't throw your day off. And I'm talking to that about this is someone who, in my less mature years, I was probably raging out on the road like, oh my god, why are they going so slow, right? Um, but there was probably a lot more profanity coming out, right? And I see the maturity now, but I just say people and wanting to keep their families more safe too, and because of the world that uh, we live in sometimes, and for safety reasons, a lot of people are choosing not to put these things on their cars anymore, so they're not a target. You know,
Mhm.
Mhm.
personally, like I know my wife likes when I go to the stores with her a lot, and I prefer to go, even if maybe I don't need anything. If she want to just go somewhere, I'd be perfectly fine with, hey, let's head out, let's go to the mall or this and that. Just knowing that there's that extra level of protection.
Mhm.
I always go and fill my wife's car up with gas. Like the every now and then, it's very rare, but maybe she'll be somewhere where she ends up filling it up. But I think it's like maybe once every couple years. It feels like.
Mhm.
And I'm like, she'll be like, I had to fill my car up with gas today. I'm like, did you remember how to do it? It's been so long. Um, and but again, gas stations are huge. It's a huge place for people to be taken advantage of. A lot of even when I go to pump gas in my car, I lock my doors. Or a lot of people they might try and sneak in and from the passenger side and grab a phone or a purse or whatever. I've seen so many of these videos. It's just like, unfortunately, uh, you take these precautionary steps. But to anyone listening, I did see something. Say you are pumping gas, right? You get out, you should, kind of have your back up against your car, right? So you can see everything going on here. And say someone does come up to you and you're like, what do I do? Pull the nozzle out and spray them with gasoline.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Just throwing that out there. Like, if I don't have any weapon or you're coming up against me, you're now covered in gasoline.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
definitely don't be on your phone.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm normally with my head on a swivel. You could probably call it my upbringing, but definitely do that. If my wife is out um, putting gas in the car and I'm with her, I get out the vehicle. Well, for one, I'm gonna pump her gas, right? But definitely go if she beats me to it, because I let her, be independent. I don't try to just do everything, but for the most part, I do. I'm out there with her. I tend to walk around my vehicles. I'm always looking at who's around. I think that's something good and safe for people to do, because I think what I've noticed is that a lot of people have tunnel vision. They only see what's in front of them, and they allow all the distractions, whether it's the phone, the music in their head, or whatever going on, that they're not having situational awareness. I think I'm gonna go ahead and bite that from Mark, because I think he mentioned situational awareness in a previous podcast. But I think some of those tips can actually help. Another one I would like to throw in there is go inside the store and pay. It's so easy to pay at the pumps, but we just actually went through a fraud by swiping at the pump. And it has been a nightmare to try to, in our particular case, they were tribal. So that's why it's a nightmare. Our jurisdiction stops, and then the tribal security or law enforcement has to take it from there and investigate on their side. So that really delays a lot. And yeah, I don't trust being at the pump. I normally go inside. I think it's just a little bit easier, better surveillance. You run back the time, see who's doing what. Usually at that point, it's going to have to be a cashier that's up to that fraud. So I just thought I'd piggyback off the whole gas station thing.
Yeah, and I mean, even outside of being at the gas station, if you're out in public, especially in the city, you should have that situational awareness. I actually just earlier today, I got on Instagram, and the first video that popped up was a video of this big YouTuber. I don't think I've ever watched a video of his except for this video. His name is Sneeko.
I feel like I've heard that name.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but I think he was filming something because someone was filming him, and he was walking down the street and he was looking at his phone, and some dude just came up and clocked him, and then took him and like clocked him all the way down to the ground. Like he like hit him in the face, but then he like swung his arm through, grabbed him, and just pulled him down to the ground and just kept hitting him. And it's like, if you weren't on your phone, you would have seen that coming 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one. It is. It just wherever we go. I don't know. My wife was telling me about. I can't exactly pin the location, but this woman was coming out of a store, and this dude just went up to her and started hacking her, like cutting her up. And I asked her, my first thing I asked her, would everybody bust their phones out? Because that's usually what happens when someone's in distress and needs help. And the first thing people do is grab their phones to film it rather than try to assist or at least try to prevent it. I'm not saying everyone just walk around with capes and they can stop everything, but you could throw something, you could just try to knock them over, right? I'm not saying you engage in hand-to-hand combat, but pulling out your phone should be the last thing that you're trying to do when someone's getting hurt. Fortunately, in this video, it wasn't anyone around to do that. It was caught on surveillance. And it's just that situational awareness. Like you can kind of read people when you're walking, you can see what kind of energy they're coming with, to turn and look. But if you start numbing all those alerts, that discernment, if you will, that keeps you safe and where you go by thinking everything's okay and nothing happens around here. I think you're setting yourself up for dulling your natural ability to detect danger and putting yourself in a pretty bad situation.
Yeah, almost want to take that one further when it comes to like your situational awareness. So a couple years ago, I was walking my dog, right? And I was thinking anything up, and I put my AirPods in, and we just went for a walk, right? While we were walking, and by the way, I got caught off guard because I couldn't hear. A much larger dog came out of nowhere, right out of the corner of my eye, and went right up to my dog. Luckily, it was a friendly dog. It didn't try attacking or anything like that. Now, Mark, you're familiar with Shibas. They're not always the nicest. The dogs, like mine is usually pretty nice, but also at the same time, or any dog really, or any person, no, you don't know who's going to react when you just go in their face, right?
Mm-hmm.
She did get aggressive. Now, granted, I was there, I was able to pull her back, and the person ended up coming out. But ever since that moment, if I ever do go take her for a walk, I only put one ear pod in now
Mm-hmm.
because I have to hear it.
I would imagine just the fact of a much larger animal walking up to a smaller animal, the smaller animal is going to, try to do something to be like, hey, get away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Got to posture up, somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was scary. It could have been a whole, and I just remember thinking like, what if that was an aggressive dog? I had no time to react. Something would have happened to, my dog. I would have never probably gotten over it. I would have felt guilty forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And I would take that one further. And knowing that I learned that lesson there, luckily nothing bad did happen. But even now, like with my daughter, which I probably wouldn't have AirPods in, we'd probably be making weird sounds back and forth to each other. Like I tell her to say "whoa." She's like, she's like 17 months old. She has a little tricycle that we push her on, and we'll be walking behind her, like say "whoa." She's like "whoa," right? Or what? She'll just be saying whatever, or she'll be like "wee," right? So I want to soak those moments in, right? I want to soak those moments in. But still, from that moment, I know there are people out there that will like kind of go for a jog and push their kid in the stroller kind of thing, and I'll see them with their AirPods on. And obviously, everyone to each their own. Um, Maybe just do one AirPod so you can still hear your surroundings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not to throw anxiety type things at each other, but you got to be ready.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's important stuff, especially in today's world. I mean, we like to think that the world is a better place and, modern society being progressive and all that. It's safer, people live longer, all that good stuff. But I mean, in reality, the world is a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, a lot of people live in bubbles, and that's what modern society has given us is this bubble protection of being in your comfort zone. I mean, I live in a small town outside of Chicago, so like there's not a whole lot of crime that happens here, but it's important to be aware no matter where you are. Like Brian was saying, I've been walking my dogs. Luckily, my dogs are a little bit bigger than Brian's.
Quite big.
Where I've had big dogs come up, and actually I've had a dog attack one of my dogs, and I didn't have ear pods in. I was able to get in between it pretty quickly, and luckily my dog didn't get hurt, but it was just it was irresponsible owner, doesn't have his dog on a leash or a tie on or anything like that, and just sitting in his garage, and it's an aggressive dog, and he saw us coming down and just immediately went after us, and luckily I saw the whole thing coming and was able to get it stopped really quickly, and pardon my language, bitch at the owner. But yeah, I mean, situational awareness is very important in today's day. Like, I mean, I was telling you guys, I was telling you earlier, it might have been yesterday, about the situation that my girlfriend was in, and I've been sending her videos. Like, if I see something on Instagram, kind of explaining what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
with you know, like people doing stuff in parking lots and pumping gas and all that good stuff. Like I've been sending her videos about that stuff, and I don't know if she's paying attention to it. It kind of seemed like she was, but like she was out in Sri Lanka, and she was being followed by a man, and he was being very weird. And she stopped in front of she found a camera, stopped in front of it, and called an Uber and went back to her hotel and didn't leave after that. Like it was a very creepy situation for her. But she luckily was aware of the situation, had her wits about her, found a camera to stand in front of, and you know, called an Uber.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, and it's real. It's real. You know, a lot of times I think we ignore the stuff because if it's not happening in our own backyard or happening in our family, it kind of doesn't exist, right? Or it's not happening. And you know, those are. I hope these stories kind of help someone. I know it's a little bit different podcast we're doing today. We'll probably find some light spots in there. Brian's gonna say something funny. Mark gonna say something funny, but you know, it's just to lighten up the podcast, but the information is still true. It's still true and very vital. So encouragement to the audience is grow those sensories more, you know, be more aware of your surroundings. Keep only one earbud in if you can, especially in areas you don't know, and even areas you do know, because quite frankly, it's just you never know who's doing what. I walk into grocery stores peeping every single person because I never know if a disgruntled employee is going to come in and want to shoot the place up. Just actually, real talk. Maybe a week ago, maybe a little less than that. One of the warehouses in my neighboring city to me, the person set the place on fire. It was a paper factory in San Bernardino, I believe San Bernardino. And I'm hearing little bits and pieces of like the reason behind why it was set on fire. And the consensus is because they weren't paying enough. And I want to pause right there because I want to tell all the audience, whatever you make at your job, you negotiated to make. So if you're unhappy, change it. I mean, it's not new what I'm saying. I think Carlos Mencia said it. I don't think people are too much on his bandwagon, but for stealing jokes and stuff. But he said it in one of his comedy stand-ups, change it. You have the power to change it. Don't be mad at where you're at. If you're unhappy, if there's no room to grow, change it. You can literally, I would recommend looking for something while you have something, unless it's just one of those situations where you have to just get rid of this place and hopefully you find something else. But that gap is going to be crucial for you for keeping up with everything you got going on. But change it, man. You shouldn't be anywhere suffering and upset, not happy. Polish that resume up. I always recommend keep your resume up to date just because, you know, but I don't think that's a reason to burn the place down. And now not only you out of a job, everybody else who was there is out of a job, you know. So
I think that guy's more than out of a job.
Yeah, true
he
that.
is.
True that.
He's going to jail. He going
For
to
sure.
Uh,
For sure.
I saw the video that he just kept walking around, lighting everything on fire, and he was like saying,
Flipping-
"You should have paid us a living wage."
Flipping off, he's flipping off the
Nuts.
flipping off the products and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
And I'm someone who definitely I like to see people at least being able to afford the basics, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, you made a good point. You negotiate that wage, right?
Mhm.
There's all types of jobs, different skill levels. I don't think anyone's worth less as a person because they work this or they work that. Now, with that being said, sometimes you work that $10 job to then get that $15 job, to then get the 18, to then get the 21, the 25, right? And we've heard this a lot too. If you don't feel like where you're at is valuing you for what you have to offer, and you really feel like you offer more, then find somewhere that does value you for what you're worth, right? Because I think, you know, we've all been around for a little bit. We're not ancient by any means, but I'm sure we've all worked at least somewhere where you weren't valued for what you could do, right? And you ended up going somewhere else that did value you, and now you got that big pay bump, right? Or you got that promotion. You know, that's it. I mean, it could be something simple as if you've been working at McDonald's for 3 years and you're a crew person and you feel like, man, I should be a manager, but they're just not promoting you to it. That's a lot of experience. Go find a fast food place nearby that is hiring for a manager and go get your promotion.
100%.
You know,
even with like, being unhappy at a job and looking for another job that pays more, you could also, it's a little bit longer of a route, but you can take your time while you're working in that position, in that job that you feel like you're not getting paid enough, build skills during that time on your own time. Build skills that are going to make you more money as well. I mean, we've all definitely done that. We do that now. We are constantly building skills that we know are going to benefit us and our future and our families on our own time. We're always trying to improve. So it's not an overnight success thing. You're not gonna get that pay bump that you're looking for immediately, but it's going to set you up to where you're going to get what you want, because you have those skills that you put time in to build for that pay bump.
100%. And I love to share that. I actually worked with a couple of people recently on that, and I actually did a video that I did not release yet, kind of on this subject, but it was, identity, right? So I love the example of like crew member that you mentioned, Mark. If you're a crew member but you feel like you should be in leadership.
Oh, that was Brian.
Oh, was that Brian? My bad.
You're good.
My bad, Brian. You're like, that's all right.
I know.
Wait.
It's gonna be like,
I know all us white guys.
That's what I was about to say. It's gonna be like Rush Hour 2, except instead of when Chris Tucker's like, "Oh, y'all look alike." That's what you want to say right now. So you want to say, "Oh, y'all look alike."
Yeah, I actually saw that clip on social media today.
Well, that's the guts. But 100%, I had a friend who wanted to not only have more responsibility, but the income to go with it. He was definitely chasing the title. And I told him, I said, don't put a whole lot of stake in the title if you could perform the work, right? Title is a title, but under that title is you, or regardless of that title is you. So don't get too fixated on the title, get fixated on the function, right? Knowing that you know what you know how to do. So we're working on his resume, and we're looking at keywords, and I'll share this with the public too, especially anyone who's looking to raise their income from a let's say just a frontliner to get into management. Having the wordplay, the verbiage on what they're looking for. So you're not going to say wipe down tables, right? Helped with the cashiers. That's so not the language of that next level. So understanding the language that you need to use with management, they're looking for someone who sounds like and operates as a leader. So you could use words like, provide exceptional service for our patrons who enter the establishment. Let's just say, for example, and not making it super fancy, definitely use words how to, that's in your vocabulary, but raise up that vocabulary, right? I'm not going to say, they're going to ask you, what does word mean, and you're going to be stuck when it comes to interviews. And then just a couple other suggestions. I'm not going to make this all about interviewing, but just raising that identity and understanding your function. And it may be a little bit hard, so you need to break down that function into transferable skills that that across the board. So if you looked at a couple of the job postings and they're saying something with slightly better verbiage, even though it means the same thing, use that verbiage and gear your resume towards that what you're looking for. A lot of times the failure happens is when you try to make one resume and send it out across all these jobs thinking they're supposed to pick you up, and you wonder why they're not picking you up, because it's nothing that screams to them that that identifies with what they're looking for. So I'll stop right there. We could do another session on how to interview and build out your resume. But the point is, continue to grow, continue to grow your knowledge base. If there's something you feel like you hit the top of, and it may be time for you to move to the next level. And change is scary, but only for a moment. If you're concerned about the grass is not greener on the other side, which I hear a lot, go test out that grass. Go over to the person's lawn and ask them how do you keep your grass so green? Find out. With permission, you can ask these types of things because I've done it. If you need a tour of the place, you want to talk to a couple people who are working there, see what a day like is for them, and how they feel about work-life balance, whatever's important to you. You have an opportunity to interview the interviewer as well as they're interviewing you, because they're looking to fill a position and you're looking for a job, so it's an equal thing there. And I'll just end it there, bro.
You both of you guys talking about interviews, and then we're talking about coming up, and maybe if you feel like you're not making enough, go do this, go do that. And I don't know why, but I haven't even heard this song in probably like over a decade. But you guys got me thinking like Macklemore Thrift Shop. I got $20 in my pocket. So if you gotta go, and maybe you're like, I want to go interview for this, but I don't got money. Remember, I've been at a thrift store before. There ain't nothing wrong with a thrift store. I would say fake it till you make it, but man, people donate their stuff. You can find some good stuff at a thrift store. But I like the line where he's like, I only got $20 in my pocket. And he's like, I'll wear your old granddad's clothes. I look incredible. Right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, whoever, you want to ball on a budget, go to a thrift shop. Ball on a budget. It don't have to be new. It just got to be new to you. That's it. There was a while where all my dress shirts were from thrift shops, right? And now I'm at that point to where now I'm able to give back to either these places or other charities, or whatever the case might be. But you guys just had me thinking that. So, because I think some people get intimidated too, right? But another thing to throw out there, a lot of interviews are over like Zooms now. There's so many, right? You don't even got to get nice pants sometimes. You just got to get yourself a nice shirt. They ain't going to know you're in your underwear. I mean, don't be in your underwear. Maybe put some shorts on, right? Put some shorts on. But yeah, you can get away with a nice shirt and just sit there. But if you're like, hey, I got to use the bathroom, don't be like standing up and showing your behind. You don't want to do that. Aaron, I was going to tell you, when your mic's on, I don't hear anything on your end. So I think you're free to keep it unmuted.
Nah, negative, bro. I hear them right now, an uproar. Yeah.
I could.
He unmuted and it was like,
I try, bro. I just cannot control the household like that. And it's my mom and my uncle and one of their friends.
Yeah.
And, that generation, they get together and they're reminiscing,
over.
the skies can hear their laughter. So
I witnessed something as a teenager, and I'm just going to say it. I don't think anyone's going to cancel me. This is Jeff, if you're watching, because I know you watch these every now and then. I was over my buddy's Jeff's. We're like, I don't know, we're probably like 16 or 17. And there's a chicken joke coming out here, Aaron. So don't come to me. But I witnessed someone in his family sing to a chicken wing. The chicken wing was so good, he started singing to it. Have any of you guys ever seen anyone sing to a chicken wing before?
Can't say I have.
Me either.
Like full on R&B broke out. He was like, "Ooh," like it was impressive. Anyway, that's all I got. $20 in my pocket and singing to a chicken wing.
That's what's up. Well, we started this segue. We covered a bunch of stuff. This is freestyle, I guess, for people to understand and know us a little bit better. Hopefully some food for thought when we talked about some of those security measures and situational awareness, but mental health we can segue back into and just kind of share a little bit more on, and we're being realistic, guys. Like, it may sound like we're talking like we're so here and we just know we have the answers to what you're dealing with. It's not really that. It's just that the personal things that we go through, we have good mentors, we have each other, And so we can constantly foster a positive outlook on what's happening for us rather than what's happening to us. And I hope you caught that, because each thing that we go through, usually there's a lesson in it to learn, right? If it's to be more humble, if it's to have more patience, to what Brian was talking about with people in behind the vehicles. Sometimes I've taken those cues on the freeway where I'm like, you know what, man, I'm not gonna rush it. I'm gonna get there when I get there, because I already feel myself building up with this tension of trying to get ahead, or everybody's cutting me off. And it teaches me how to be more calm in those type of situations. That's active work. That's not, we just thought of it out of the air and said, hey, this is a good idea, let's just tell everybody this is what to do. We're simply just sharing with you how we're changing our mindset when it comes to everyday life rather than just our business. And you guys know what we do. And then try to transfer those thought process or way of thinking to you. So hopefully it helps you. And we don't know who we're touching. We don't know who's going through whatever they're going through and need to hear this podcast. Each one of us speak and share a story that will land with you and help you avoid having mental health issues, a breakdown, overwhelming stress, things of that nature. My bad, it's a little kind of went off on a little bit right there,
No,
but
you're good. I didn't know if Mark was going to say anything. I wanted to give him a chance because I feel like I throw myself in there
Oh no,
often.
sorry.
I don't give Mark any time to talk. And then my wife goes, "You should let Mark talk more." I'm trying.
You know, I apologize because I'm not a real big talker. So if you guys do think that I'm pretty quiet on the podcast, I try to say as much as I can. But this is definitely exercising a new muscle for me. I'm not a real big talker, so I'm working on it.
oh, well, you're getting out your comfort zone, Mark. I mean, jumping on a podcast and not being a talker. I mean, I think that might give encouragement to someone who's quiet too by nature, and just kind of throwing themselves in there. I mean, you don't stutter. You don't seem to be lost for words. I don't know what you're going through to be on there. That's like, this is really out of my comfort zone. But
It helps when I mean, it's just there's not like there's an audience in front of us. It's just me and it's just me and you guys, and we've got a great relationship. So that probably makes it a little easier. I'm not gonna lie, I do lose my words sometimes.
Would you like us to be in front of a big audience?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, no, I like we were talking about earlier. I'm just trying to build more skills, and I like what we're doing here, and I think we talk about some great stuff. So, I'll eventually I'll probably start talking more. So I apologize for just you guys having to sit there and watch me stare at you guys, but
No, and that's part of us growing, right? And a lot of what this episode is like, sure, we have stuff we want to talk about, but when the three of us are talking, this is like just conversation that we normally have. And that's one of the reasons why we were like, maybe we just, I mean, we're already talking. Might as well press record.
yeah.
Right.
True.
And some of the things we've maybe already talked to each other about, kind of like we've had these topics before. We might have talked about it. So, or you spend time talking to people enough to where you kind of the conversation just starts flowing naturally, right? And there's times where maybe we might talk about something that the three of us talked about previously, and it just comes up again. We want to share it with you. And on to that, I say, hey, it ain't new to us, but it's new to you. Yeah, no. Like,
where you, Greg? That's close.
I'm gonna come out here one day with like a zoot suit. I look incredible. Yeah, a little feather hat. I haven't heard of Macklemore in a while, but he had some hits back in the day.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
But yeah, we're always looking to build our skills, right? The three of us here, we're constantly working. We're finding other ways to actually bring more to you guys. It's that we've been working behind the scenes like crazy. There's a lot that's coming. And there's so much that we probably have to learn everything that we've put together, right? Because it's massive. But we're talking on the faith, we're talking on money, we're working in financial services, we're working in whatever other areas, right? Uh, we're mental health advocates, and then we're constantly always pushing how can we get better, and that could be like, Mark, hey, I need for me, I don't talk a lot, I want to get better at talking, and I know that was to you, that was a point of doing the podcast, to get more reps with
Mhm.
speaking, to just get better at it. We've been dabbling in AI more and more and more. I shouldn't say dabbling. We're like some mad scientists back
Yeah,
here
we are.
behind
This is
behind the
true.
curtains. You close the doors. Like, I got an old computer I installed some stuff on. I'm almost like, I feel like Tony Stark in my basement, right? I'm about to start coming in and being like Jarvis, right? Um, I caught myself today talking to Claude. In the first Avengers, when Loki throws Stark off the screen and he's like, deploy, right? And then
Mhm.
like it comes flying out. I'm over here talking to Claude, deploy that, deploy that, right? Like, deploy that. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to talk to him like that, but I'm having fun with it. And to the listeners, if you haven't, or if you are in AI a little bit, or you're not, if you're interested in a little bit, we saw an interesting statistic today, which is, what was it? If anyone it's like 80% of the population hasn't even like used AI,
Yeah,
like the world population.
the
And
world population. Yeah.
yeah, and then another, what was it? There was like, I think 18% or so have maybe used like the free version, and that includes
Hmm.
people that have only used it once and never touched it again. And then there was like people that have a paid subscription to like a Chat GPT or a Gemini
Yeah.
or Grok, whatever. And do you remember what that percentage was? I know it was
I
low.
It was low. I
Yeah,
mean, if I was to say 4%,
yeah, something like that. And
maybe.
then people having like these Claude subscriptions and like going heavy in them and the coding and all that. It's 0.04% of the population. Uh,
Hmm.
so if you are that part of the population, or you want to become part of that population, you start digging into it now. In 2 years, you'll be ahead of everyone.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
These Fortune 500 companies are going to be looking for those types of people to, you know, set their stuff up. So again, I'm gonna go back. If you're that person that says, "Man, I feel like I should be worth more, this, and that," dive in, become a pioneer to something that no one else knows nothing about, or very little, right? You can learn so much from YouTube, and then you learn enough to where now you're like self-learning. Now you're teaching others, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, the one thing I like about us is we don't just stop at one thing. We're just continuously learning. Um,
Hmm.
and I have one more thing I wanted to say to the people that are like, "Man, I want more, make more money, or this, and that." I would say, have you gone into your word? Have you had that conversation? Have you said, "Hey, show me a path," or "Hey, I'm trusting," whatever the case might be. Don't beg for it. Don't be like, "Hey, please give me a $25 an hour job," or something like that. Whatever you're wanting, talk to them about it, and then put the effort towards it. Show them
Hmm.
that you actually want it, because it's not like, and he's gonna pop out and give you like three wishes, right? It's not. This is not a genie lamp, right? You're gonna have a relationship with them, talk
Hmm.
with them.
In asking for things like that, it's not like, like you were saying, he's not going to pop out like a genie and give you three wishes and whatever you wish he's going to give you, but he may give you something like the clarity to figure out what you want to do, and open a path
Mhm.
to what you're asking him for. It's not like he's just going to give you $1 million or whatever it is, or like Brian was saying, a $25 an hour job, but he can give you the clarity to lead you down the path. He can give you discernment, things like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. A lot of times, asking for that alignment is, the tools and the resources to earn that $25 an hour. So the thing is people have to be willing to do the hard work. And I think that's where instant gratification takes over for a lot of people, which is convenience, right? We want a pill to lose weight. We don't want to go in the gym and work it off. We want a pill for focus rather than exercise your brain, right? So prayers could tend to be that wish list rather than asking for the tools and the guidance to be prepared for that next level. Brian shared a story which was really great, and I think that for a lot of the listeners, if they listen to this, they might pick up what's being put down. Brian, you could tell the story, but it was about your daughter. Like, would you give your daughter a knife?
Hmm.
Right?
Man, it was actually Marcus hit me
Okay.
back. And
Okay.
I forgot what we were talking about, but it was like it was hey, would you give your daughter a knife? Keep in mind at this time my daughter was like 1, right? She's like 1 years old. And even now I wouldn't give her a knife, right? So would you give your daughter a knife? No. She's like, why not? It's like, you have it, you can give her the knife. I was like, well, she doesn't know how to wield it yet. She could hurt herself. So if there's something that you're looking for, it could be something like, some people might be like, I want to own my own company, right? Help me own my own company. Do you have the skills, and are you at a place yet to where you can wield that? Or if it was given to you, are you not at a point to where you could handle it and you would lose it as quickly as you got it?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be able to wield it properly, right? So right now my daughter cannot wield a sword. She would hurt herself. If I want to build up, say, a large financial services company, I have to continue to do the work to become better at leadership development, knowing the products as well as, we do, and continuing that, right? So if like, hey, if you had like a State Farm size business right now, right? Would you be able to handle it? And I would say, well, no, I'm not ready to wield that yet. But if I keep going down this path and I keep working at it, when I am ready for it, I'll be able to wield it. A CEO of a company doesn't just get handed CEO, right? Like, they have to do a lot of work for that. So there's a CEO of a company. Imagine CEO of Walmart. How many people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That person's overseeing. There's a lot that you have to do to be able to wield the things that you want in life, so that when you do receive it, you can keep it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to wield it, you're going to lose it. So a lot of the times, I'm going to add to this too. A lot of times we face things in our life that seem like challenges, and we're almost like, man, why do these things keep happening to me? This, and that. Maybe you think it's the enemy. Don't always think it's the enemy. You're being prepared. You're being sharpened, right? If you say, hey, I want to be able to do this or do that, then he's going to build it to you. He's going to give you what you need to get you there. He's not just going to hand it to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to say that, 'cause I think a lot of people see like all these things pop up and they're like, oh my God, like you ask for patience, right? Oh Lord, please help me with patience so I don't this and that. And you think all of a sudden you're gonna wake up like you're a very patient person. They're gonna have someone poking you in the face, like,
Yep.
nonstop,
Exactly.
annoying the crap out of you
Mm-hmm.
to build those patience. And you have to be able to identify that. And I used to be the person too that would be like, why is this happening? Is that happening? Or this happened? But now I look at things, and when I see stuff pop up, I'm like, challenge accepted. What am I going to learn from this? What new
Mhm.
skill am I going to get from this?
Mhm.
So, yeah, no, thanks for bringing that up. That was,
Yeah, it was your story to tell, bro. I just piggybacking off what Mark was saying, and I thought that was a very cool analogy to hopefully,
yeah,
connect with the audience on, and maybe they can say, you know what, that does make
yeah.
sense.
Look at the amount of people, and I don't know how many it is, but you hear often someone wins the lottery. Oh, there I go again, touching my camera. Someone wins the lottery, and next thing you know, they're bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't able to wield that money. They weren't prepared for it. It was just given to them. They don't know how to harness it. They don't know how to steward it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just gone. And now they're worse off than they were than when they won it.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. What you're asking for, can you wield it? Are you actually able to possess it and take care of it so you don't lose it? And that's been detrimental to my own development. I feel like over the last, year or so is realizing, like, I'm like, I wish I was here right now. Or I want to be here right now, reflecting in and being like, okay, am I able to properly wield that without losing it or having extra stresses or whatever the case might be? And if the answer is no, then I'm like, well, I'm no longer being like, oh, I feel like I should have that right now, because I know internally I'm having that internal check. I'm not ready to wield it. You have to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that was good. Really good.
Mark, anyone ever tell you have a wonderful beard?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But you're
It's
so bald, man.
it's getting really long.
Yeah.
My priest kids asked me to grow it out, and every week they say, "Don't trim it."
Or what? If anyone
So-
goes to a website that, well, we're working on a new website. We haven't thrown it out there yet, but when you go to it, you're going to see a picture of Mark, and you're not going to know it's him. Because his beard's like 20 times longer than that photo. So
Yeah, it's probably going to get trimmed soon, but
man,
I don't know when that'll be. It's been since, I think the last time I got it trimmed was November.
it's cool.
Oh,
Yeah. You know, to the listeners too, something we talked about a while ago, a couple of things, and we haven't rolled it out yet. We haven't forgot is we need to find a way, which I think with what we're building, we could find a way to start giving back some type of charity to listeners, right?
Yep.
And we could probably build that, now that I'm thinking about it, into what we've already made, right?
hmm
We could funnel you guys through there to sign up. We can do a random winner, and right from there. In fact, man, when we first talked about it, we didn't know how we were going to do it, and now we just went on this crazy run the last few weeks, and without even realizing what we just built is going to be able to handle this as well.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that. That is
Me either.
that is wild. That's cool. That's really cool.
That's what these conversations produce.
And yeah,
Mhm.
speaking of produce, I don't know. I thought I was gonna have a joke. I don't.
The way you said it too, I was like, I thought a joke was coming
Yeah,
out.
I really did. I have nothing. I just psyched everyone out. I like Mark, your cross, right? I like his cross, and it's the first time I've ever seen a cross like that. I remember you described
yeah.
it to me, what it was before. I don't fully remember, but I noticed, like, you know, it looks almost like a normal cross, but then the bottom is kind of like it's slanted. And I think that's where
So-
Jesus' feet were, right?
Yeah, so that's his footboard. So you've got the sign that they had nailed on the cross is the first bar. We say King of Glory, and then obviously where his arms were, but the leg or the foot bar is tilted because, you know, he was crucified with the two thieves, and one thief denied him, and one thief said, "Remember me, O Lord, in thy kingdom." And it's tilted towards the thief that accepted him as God,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's what that symbolism is.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah, because you don't see a lot of crosses with that design on it. And
No.
that has to do with the Orthodox Church you're part of, right?
Yeah, Eastern Orthodox.
Yeah.
It's many different, you know, Russian Orthodox, Serbian Orthodox, Antiochian, Greek. There's quite a bit. It's all under, I mean, different jurisdictions, you could say, but everything is the same. It's just, you know, different cultural differences.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I've never seen a cross like that either. So thanks for sharing on its significance and what it means.
Yeah.
It's very unique for sure.
Yep, I love it. So glad that I found the path that God had in store for me. So
Yeah.
Did somebody say path?
Are there three?
A little, is there three? Is there three paths? Yeah, is there? What's going on here, guys?
Sneak peek.
We've been working on some stuff.
that was not intended.
Yeah, no, it was not intended. And I'm not going to throw all the beans out there right now or spill them all. What I will say is that we'll be rolling something out soon for those of you that like to keep up with the blogs or newsletters from us, whatever the case might be, to where we have a system now to where it sends, right? It'll automatically send. But instead of using just any platform, right, we wanted to build our own. We want it to be genuine to us. We've spent a lot of time back, and what I will say is we own the code. It's our code. We own it. It's our code.
Man.
It's 100%, 100% ours.
That's great.
That probably
That
shouldn't be.
was-
No one else is gonna know why that's funny.
No.
No one else, and anyone that we know that knows is probably gonna be like, "That's messed up, Brian." So it's all good. I just thought that was a funny way of saying it. I would have been like, this is our technology, this is that, but it's like this is our code. And I'm like, when I thought of like the code thing, right? All this stuff, like, in fact, we've all been working on some tools, right, behind the scenes, and we have seen companies charge crazy amounts of money for some of the stuff that we've designed that we're just using for ourselves right now. But at some point, we might release to the industry, not to like necessarily be like, hey, let's make a bunch of money, but let's help everyone that's kind of like us, like wanting to make a difference, not nickel and diming everything. But when we started building some of the things, what kept coming to me, I'm gonna make a lot of Marvel references because I love Marvel movies. But I thought of the first Tony Stark or the first Iron Man, where it's like he built this in a cave with nothing but a bunch of scraps, right? Uh, like that kind of thing. That's what it feels like. We're just like putting it together and um, with what feels like not much, right? And we're
Mhm.
seeing some products that are out there. And we're like, they're charging this, they're doing that. We've now put it together in a very short period of time, and it baffles us like how they're making people pay so much money for certain products. Like if you have a subscription service, depending on what it is, and you're charging more than Netflix or I don't know, like cable TV or internet package. I don't know what you might got. I'll put it, if something you got that's a monthly subscription is more than my internet, it must be some good stuff because my internet is I, I can't go online without my internet. Everything else is just like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, I do get business, right? Business. There's you solve a problem. If someone finds value in it, then you're going to make money from it. That's a lot of what business. You're solving a problem, something that someone finds value in. They're willing to exchange money for your product. Um, I think our thing is, as we're looking at some things that we've been building, it's like, yes, solve a problem, but how can we be fair on the price?
Mhm.
Look at what's out there. Obviously, still make a profit because our families have to eat at the end of the day, but also um, be fair because those people's families have to eat too,
Mhm.
right? And,
Mhm.
and that's the way to look at it. And we're probably a little bit before we actually release some of that stuff. We're pressure testing a lot. Um, I just really want to say, hey, we got blogs and newsletters coming out. I didn't want to be like we're all like doctor, like what was it? What do you say, Aaron? Pinky in the brain, pinky in the brain.
Pinky the brain.
Yeah, ready to take over. Yeah, it's just bro, it keeps coming to me. Like someone looking at our website and they're trying to like, or we're building it back. He's like, he built this in a cave with scraps, yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a lot like that.
that's how it feels. That's exactly how it feels. And I'm enjoying it. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Continue to learn. Uh, like I said, I got I think an AI thing up on an old computer of mine, so it's like local just to that computer because I didn't trust it. I was like, this thing's gonna try and take over my whole internet and send my Roomba after me, right? So I was like, I gotta be careful with it. Um, but yeah, man, there's a lot of cool stuff. And again, we own the code. It's our code. Quite frankly, we've seen lots of code. There's been lots of code. Not like this. Not like this. Seen lots of code.
I mean, it's super funny, bro. But when it gets released, that's the part I'm really smiling about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hear that
Yeah,
cave talk a whole lot.
I think so. He built this in a cave, nothing but a bunch of scraps. Yeah, and people watching you, it's your man. If you can imagine it, you can probably build it.
Hmm.
And we're at a place now in life where there's so much technology around us that if you're willing to put the work in and learn and whatever it might be, you can literally bring what's in your mind to life
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
fractions of what it would have cost a decade ago.
And fraction of the time.
Yeah, yeah, and in a fraction of time, as you learn it more to scale it and learn about automations and this and that, you really learn how can I use technology to free up myself and my day to day. Because remember, Aaron, we were talking the other day, and I was like, man, it's about to be summer. I got a whole acre yard. I got to cut the grass. I got to weed whack. I'm like, I'm gonna have less time to sit down with clients and this and that. What am I gonna do? And then as we're dabbling in stuff more, I'm like, man, I think we could design this to automate or maybe post to social media for us or whatever the case might be. And I throw that out to everyone out there. If you need more time, find a way to leverage AI in a safe way to maybe find ways to make your life easier or free up some time. What you're comfortable with, right? It's what you're comfortable with. Um, yeah, that's really it. And remember, whatever you build, you own the code.
Yeah.
You own it. It's your
Yeah.
code.
It's
your
your code.
proprietary technology.
Mm-hmm. We might let a lot out right there.
I might have missed. Yeah, I might have to bleep that.
Yeah.
Well,
gonna be some sniffing.
That I did want to mention, like when I hear that, right? I hear the whole like proprietary technology, and I think it's great to have that. Um, and maybe I just don't know enough, but if I do see a product that looks just like maybe other things that are out there, is it really proprietary?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like what we talked about earlier. Like it's like I don't want to say like you're cloning, but if you have a bunch of different systems, like and you bring them all under one roof, that's great for convenience. That's a lot of convenience, but I don't know if that's like proprietary unless it's something new that you haven't really seen before. So I think it's okay to say you own it, like this is ours, we built it, we have it, it's ours. Um, um, and maybe I just don't understand the wording, right? Maybe I just don't understand the wording. So listeners, if you're listening in and I gotta go, man. In fact, I'll just go check the dictionary after we're done. So I'll be like, oh man, I probably misunderstood it live on camera.
Proprietary means that it's protected by like patents and trademarks and copyright.
Interesting. I feel like that's not. Man.
Oh man.
I might have went too off the deep end. I might be getting it's been nice knowing you letter in the mail or something.
So Men in Black gonna show up at your door with shades on.
You, man. I'm telling you. You're gonna better yet, it's gonna be like a political thing. I'm talking, the next you're gonna see a video be like, it's the best code. Quite frankly, it's really proprietary. It's more than I thought. I was wrong. And of course, I'm not gonna name any names. I love the company. I think it's great. We're doing great things. I just wanted to make a joke because I like, you guys know me. If I'm not trolling, I'm not living. I would be next to the CEO being like, you got that code? Right? And he'd be like, I got yours and it's
illegal.
Delete it. It's deleted. Yeah. He's like, you're out of here. I was like, fine, I'll just go to one of these other companies where they're a lot nicer, where they buy term and invest the difference. Oh man. That's
hilarious.
That's goofy. I would never do that to you guys. Never do it. Damn.
I knew this was going to be the point of the podcast where we really start to get our laughter on because this is hilarious.
It's only a matter of time until I lose my composure and I just get unhinged, and then I'm just proud of myself for not saying any actual company names. Very proud of myself for that. We've only had like I think 3 or 4 awkward silence moments in the night, so we got that going for us. Yeah,
good point to splice the video for the rest of them. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, what are we doing, fellas?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
It's a good question. I mean, we've been going for a hot minute here, hour and 18 minutes on the recording. It's almost 11 o'clock for us. Aaron, I know you get up pretty early. Mark, I don't think you sleep.
He doesn't.
I need to get my dogs out and fill my CPAP up with distilled water. Yeah, I got a CPAP now. That happened since the last time we all jumped on here. No, I think I talked about it in the last episode briefly. Yeah. So that's going well. I think like a week into it, I grabbed a cold, so I was just like mouth breathing inside this mask, and it was the worst. It was the worst. And there was already been a few times where I wake up in the middle of the night being all like delirious or like not knowing like where I am, disoriented. I'm not really disoriented, but I'm just like half asleep. And I think like the mask's off because I don't feel any like air, and I'm just half asleep. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking. And I'll go to pull it off, and I'll just feel like all this air suction. The mask will be like, "Oh my god, you got a leak" or something. Like, "Oh my lord!" Like, so I'm learning to just, daughter gets up, she needs to be fed. I hit the button, I take it off. It's like it's a whole thing. You just feel like
Mhm.
Darth Vader laying in your bed.
Yeah, there's been several nights where I've just woken up in the morning and it's laying next to my bed.
There's
I it just ripped it off in the middle of the night. Screw this.
that's
I don't
That would be
remember.
me.
I don't remember doing it, but
Mhm.
that is probably what happened.
Man. I would, I would end this with a video, but I don't want it to like bog the thing down. I was gonna say maybe for the next podcast we do, Aaron and Mark, maybe because all I do is I share a second link.
Mhm.
Like, how we use the link to get on the Voodoo Ninja or whatever. I
Yeah.
use that same link. I open up another one and I go to share the screen.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
all I do. And then from my control panel, I can grab that code and throw it in, and we could try that next time and see if it's a clearer video. Because I
Sure.
wonder if I just have too many screen shares happening over here that it's messing with the recording.
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility. And I mean, if any of these videos we can actually just download and have native, that might work a little better too than streaming.
Yeah, we got to the point. We don't do it on purpose, guys. We really wanted to get something recorded and out to you guys today, because I know it's been a little bit, but we, like most people, we're busy, right? We're busy, and we could have easily said like, man, let's just do another week or whatever. But it's important to us not let too much time go by. The goal is to get them at least weekly or bi-weekly out to y'all. Um, but yeah, and we just really want to come together tonight and talk. So I don't have like an outro video or anything funny to really say. There's probably a lot of inside humor that happened the last 5 minutes here that you guys don't know what we're talking about. But I hope that maybe the stories we shared tonight, learned something from it, or maybe just felt like you're part of the conversation. Maybe it got you thinking a little bit. I personally, I enjoy these types of conversations, like just being on, like when we talk over the phone sometimes, whether it's with you, Mark, or Aaron, or vice versa.
Mhm.
I enjoy it. We just wanted to give that kind of back to the listeners a little bit too. It doesn't have to be about this financial strategy, or this is that, or this is that, or you know these faith conversations or mental health. We just let it come out naturally, right? I don't want it to feel like we're forcing. I don't feel like we're forcing the other stuff either. We might have bullet points on what we want to talk about for the day, but we didn't even do that today. We're just like, before we even hit record, we're like, what are we going to talk about? We're like, I don't know, man. And I don't even know what we start the video on. Honestly, I have no idea. Then we pressed record, and my whole system like froze up, and I had to like stop, and then we had to restart it. The video was choppy. So if you made it past the choppy video and you didn't like swipe away, and you're still here listening to the three of us talk, we're glad to have you here. And
Yeah.
we're gonna keep growing. We keep growing a big community and seeing how we can make an impact in any way, even if it's
Yeah.
just a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, join the community.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys got anything. If not, I'm just gonna press this stop button.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
No, I'm good too. Just want to thank our audience, those faithful listeners, and the ones following us and cheering us on and saying they need more of what we're talking about. That's very encouraging, and we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, 100%. And those
Thanks
who
for
have been, what's that, Mark?
I just said thanks for listening.
Yeah. And the one thing I want to throw out there is to those few that we've had that have joined us on our social media, especially like on Facebook, we've been gaining some followers. TikTok's been a slow grow. It's been a slow grow. I don't think it's really pushing us out, but Facebook, we've been getting some traction. To you who have been liking the videos, commenting, the likes that we do get on YouTube. Because I know YouTube doesn't really push our shorts out, but for our actual podcast episodes that go up there, for the few of you that have already been messaging already or commenting or whatever, we appreciate you. Thank you for the support. And that's it, man. See you guys next time.
Later.
See you.